Welcome back, and we're so excited to have with us a very special guest, Mr. David Estes, and he's a retired officer. He's also a Vietnam veteran. It's interesting, he went from Georgia to South Dakota to Idaho. I thought that was quite interesting as I was looking and finding some information about you. Share with us, if you will, David, introduce yourself to our audience and talk to us about this fascinating book, The Rescue of Officer Moreland Lee.
Well, the rescue of Officer Moreland Lee is a study in what not to do as far as police work goes. You can see the mistakes made, and you have to figure out what to do about it. I have Parkinson's disease, so I'll lose my train of thought as I go along. So you'll have to help me out a little bit.
Okay. So you're talking about Officer Moreland Lee, what to do, what not to do, and how to navigate this journey as an officer. Share with our audience some of the important things about that, because it sounds like a very interesting story.
The book is about the family and its impact on family.
So you're talking about the impact and the rescue. When you talk about the rescue of Officer Lee, tell us a little bit about that, the rescue of Officer Lee. What does the book share with us when it comes to rescuing Officer Lee?
Well, the rescue of Officer Moreland Lee was a mobilization of various groups that came together to help out here. It just goes from one to the next, and in the end, the rescue was pulled off by private citizens, just people that are like you and I. It wasn't done by a lot of law enforcement or other officials involved in it. In the end, of course, it all fell on the backs of the...
In the career of Officer Lee and the rescue, and I hear you talk about the citizens and the roles that they played in the rescue of Officer Moreland Lee, how important were the citizens in that and the different situations that you find yourself in as a police officer? How important is it to have the support of the citizens that you're protecting?
Well, you have to understand that without the general public, the police would not be able to perform their jobs. And in this case, you saw just one citizen after the other getting involved in this whole scenario to bring about the rescue of the Officer Moreland Lee.
Wow, that's interesting. So what did the citizens do to help rescue him? What's the situation as you talk about the rescue of Officer Moreland Lee? What's the situation that the citizens came together to help rescue him from? Was it a case where his life was being threatened, was about to happen to him?
Well, it is a combination of things that the citizens did. Each citizen involved in the whole operation knew what had to be done, and they did it.
Was Officer Lee, was he undercover? Was he a detective? Was he a beat officer? exactly what was his interaction with the citizens, with the neighborhood, that would invite them into the different situations where they would assist him?
Well, he was a patrol officer, and of course, had a report going with the citizens in the area.
Okay, so he's a patrol officer. So he's basically a part of their everyday lives because they see him every day and they get to develop relationships with him. Would that be correct?
Yeah. Uh-huh.
That's powerful. So share a little bit more about how that developed with us, if you will.
Well, the citizens initially, it wasn't the citizens so much as it was the police that got involved in the whole affair. The citizens came in later. They knew that there had been a kidnapping from the sign on the road, from the Amber Alert, and they were willing to pick the phone and call 911 and tell them what they had seen.
That's powerful. So if I'm understanding you, during the times of doing your investigations as a police officer and you being an officer yourself, the information that you get based upon the relationships that you have with the citizens is critical to you being able to solve or bring resolution to these different things that you're investigating and trying to solve kidnappings and things of that nature.
Yes, without the support and the without the support of the citizens, there would not be any investigation at all. We would just be dead in the water. And
Now that's interesting. And it's important. Thank you for sharing this, because I hear you saying, as an officer yourself, without the support of the community that you're serving and protecting, without the support of the citizens and the interaction with the officers, you said that investigations, many of them would just stop. They would be dead in the water because citizens are important to officers being successful in what they're trying to do. Would that be correct?
yes, absolutely. And you have to maintain that relationship with the citizens in order to get your job done. And you see citizens stepping up to the plate every step of the way. From the old man on the mountain who recorded the incidents, to the dispatcher, or just the citizens themselves.
You know, I think sometimes being on the outside and not understanding how important it is to have a quality relationship in the interaction between the beat officers, people who are there on the street in the neighborhood every day, and the people they protect. Sometimes if we're not in that, we don't understand the importance of that. And of course, we know what we're facing today, and we're getting different reports in the news and all of this about police and citizens. But you're saying that it's vitally important for the two to work together, because that's what causes our officers to be successful in protecting the citizens. Is that correct? Would that be correct in saying that?
Yes, you have to have that common respect there. You have to have this goal that everybody wants to meet. And if you don't, then you might as well go home and pack it in.
That's powerful. I heard you say something that really jumped out. Common respect from both parties. When we respect each other and understand that each plays a role in the success, and we have that common respect. How did you go about developing that relationship and gaining that respect with the people so that they would assist you in doing your job.
We have to get out of that police car and talk to them.
Mm.
You have to get out there and communicate with them and talk to them and find out what, is going on in their lives. Sometimes you can help out and sometimes you can't. But it's being out there and being able to communicate with them. I had, for instance, one mother who spent $17,000 trying to rehabilitate her kid. And I got to know her very well and her kid.
Mm.
That's what it took. Another case.
That is so. Now, you just shared something that I think is so powerful. You said you have to get out of the car and talk to people. You have to get out of the car and get involved. So communication is key when it comes to developing that quality relationship. That is powerful. Thank you for sharing that. We have about 2 minutes left. If it's something that you would like to share with our audience, you have about 1 minute. What would be a key that you would like to share with our viewing audience right now?
Well, I think the main thing is that the police are just ordinary people and that they need help. And without it, they can't get the job done. This whole defund the police is stupid. You got to be able to support the people around you, the people that you have chosen to be there to represent them, I guess, in criminal matters.
Wow. I think that is so important. Thank you for sharing that. Thank you for sharing that information. And we thank you so much for coming on and being our guest. I want to let our viewing audience know that they can get your book on Amazon. You can go to Amazon and get it. Mr. Estes, thank you so much for being our guest. And you've been just an awesome and wonderful guest. Thank you so much. We want to thank our viewing audience for viewing us. And we look forward to you joining us again on the next episode of Spotlight TV. I'm your host, Dr. Larry Carnes, and have a great day.